President Joe Biden made it clear that the only way he would not drop out of the 2024 presidential election was if his team told him he could not win. In his unscripted press conference, the 81-year-old spoke and answered questions for nearly an hour. Biden told Americans he was the most qualified person to run for president and that we can't afford to lose what we've done. Now, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries wrote to his colleagues that he met with Biden to discuss his caucus members' conclusions about the path forward amid the president's embattled re-election campaign. Several Democrats on Capitol Hill have publicly called on him to step aside, but others, like my next guest, are supporting the president. Joining me now on the phone is California Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
You're absolutely welcome, and I'm delighted to be with you. And it's so important that you're giving us the opportunity to talk about what's going on during this election time with Biden and with Trump. I'm ready to go.
Right. And certainly you are ready to go, and you have been ready to go quite a while in terms of your unwavering support for the president. Talk to us a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes. People think that we're not hearing something or not seeing something because we do see a lot of headlines about people perhaps privately asking about his health and what he's going through. Can you tell us anything about what's going on behind the scenes that might be a lot different from the narrative that's out there?
I don't know how much different it is, but I can tell you this. There has been a decision by some that they are not going to support him. And the reason that they give is he's too old, he's not capable, that something may be wrong mentally, on and on and on. Whatever the reasons are, there is a plot. And it is being organized to try and get this president to so-called step aside. And I had a talk with some young people in Chicago today about stepping aside. And I was reminded, and we discussed it a lot, that step aside simply means that the president will be president up until January. They're not saying resign. They're not saying get out of the presidency, because if he did, Kamala would automatically become the president. She's the vice president. And if the president resigns or something happens to them where they cannot perform their duties, that's what the vice president does. The vice president takes over. But in this plot that's going on, there is an attempt to get him to step aside and not resign because they would rather we lose the ability for Kamala to be president or even to remain vice president. And so it's a lot of tricks going on. But anyhow, you take a look at the number of people in the House of Representatives. I think it's up to about 19 now. And television keeps saying that, there's a huge call to make him step aside, to get him to step aside. But 19 out of 213 is not huge. And what you see are, members, most of them, I think, maybe believe that he cannot perform his duties, that somehow he won't be able to beat Trump. I don't know what they think, but something is going on. And I support Biden staying. He is our Democratic nominee. He won in the primaries, which makes him our nominee. And we should get behind him, and we should work with him, and we should ensure that he has the opportunity to get on that campaign trail and beat Trump the way he has already done. He beat him before, he can beat him again.
Now, Congresswoman, certainly this has been an interesting process so far in terms of this campaign, beginning with what happened on June 27th with that early debate. And the president has done many things in order to try to make up for that or show that he is the one to be chosen. What do you think are the next steps in terms of what he should do on the campaign trail to make sure that people are behind him? Just strategy-wise, what are we going to see?
Well, absolutely. And he's committed to staying out there, going to all of our frontline states, making speeches, explaining his public policy. But I think that in addition to what he's doing, that the secretaries, the appointees, all of those people who are carrying out his strategies should be out on the campaign trail also. And I do believe that all of the members of the House of Representatives need to do a better job of explaining the policies, how they work, what he has accomplished, what it means to have the lowest unemployment that we have had for many, many years, what it means to have an infrastructure program that creates contracts and jobs and opens up opportunities for minorities to be involved in procurement in the ways that they have not been involved historically. He is good on everything from climate change to reproductive rights to support for small businesses, doing everything that was needed during COVID to make sure that the frontline workers had everything that they need to be protected, like the nurses and the doctors, and making sure that they get the vaccines into minority communities because they had not been doing it before. Trump had told us just to drink some bleach. And so the comparison, there's no comparison. I mean, Biden is an honorable, upright man. Trump is a liar. He's deceptive, he's destructive, and he's divisive.
I wanted to jump in and talk about the vice president for a moment, just in terms of positioning her so that more people will recognize what she has been doing. Many have been trying to make the argument that she has been doing quite a bit, but we haven't heard about it. And I'm wondering what you can let us in on in terms of what's going on behind closed doors to find out what is going to happen with her positioning and how she's positioning herself right now on this election campaign.
Well, first of all, as the vice president, she's running as a team with Biden. They are a team. They're running together, do not tend to be separated. She's been out on the campaign trail and has attracted a lot of support from women, talking about reproductive rights, women's rights. She's been excellent on those issues. She also has been excellent on dealing with small and minority businesses and education and all of these issues. Some people don't pay attention to the issue unless it's an issue that they care about. Well, if you care about health care, if you care about not only contracting and the opportunities for people to have jobs and positions that they've not had before, like diversity and inclusion, then you know what she's been saying and what she's been doing, and she's going to keep on doing that. Last night she was on international policy, talking about what is going on with Ukraine. And so she's well qualified. She's well equipped to do what needs to be done. She's been an asset to Biden, and the two of them working together have kept their promises.
I want to end on this question. George Clooney in his op-ed in the New York Times, I'm sure you have something to say to him about staying in his lane. And I just wanted to give you the opportunity to speak to the George Clooneys of the world who are making their opinions be known in a big fashion.
Well, what I want to do is I want to make known to people of color and to women and to poor people and to working people, all who have been helped with this presidency. We've got the power. I don't care what anyone celebrity has to say. We've got the power, and we better know how to use it and exercise it. We're going to have a significant number of delegates at the convention. We are going to have the opportunity to vote like we have never voted before, at least as well as we have voted before, in order to support our nominee. Whether it is, the New York Times or, the Washington Post, or any of the newspapers with the editorials, okay, they have a right to say or do what they want to, but they don't make the difference. They don't determine. It's the people who vote who make the difference. And I'm saying to our people, we've got to register, we've got to vote, we've got to show up, we've got to mail in those ballots, we've got to drop it in ballot boxes that are being set up, we've got to do whatever it takes to get our vote counted.
All right. I certainly know that we will be hearing more from you, of course, on this campaign trail and more. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
You're welcome, and I'm available to you anytime.
All right. We're going to take you up on that. Good to see you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Time to get paid, blow up like
Fanbase exclusive audio rooms are here. Now tap, talk, and get paid. Monetize your live podcast and most engaging conversations. You can now create exclusive audio chat rooms only for your subscribers and biggest fans. And as a user, subscribe, listen, and talk to your favorite creators. Now tap, talk, and get paid. Because everyone's a fan of something, and everyone has a fan base.
I'm blowing up like you thought I, and if you don't know.